I may not be a fall baby, but I love this time of year. Autumn in New York is crisp air, cozy sweaters, and warm flavors just make everything feel comforting. I mentioned I'm getting married. Super busy, everybody is in town, and I want to look my best. Healthy eating is the primary focus, and with Green Chef, the #1 meal kit for clean eating, you can do just that. Green Chef makes it easy to spend less time in the kitchen and more time enjoying fall. And with their new Heat and Eat meals, enjoy a delicious, wholesome meal in just 3 minutes. Perfect for supporting your wellness journey, Green Chef recipes feature fresh, organic, seasonal produce and 100% responsibly sourced proteins to help you feel your best. Green Chef's real clean ingredients help you build lasting, healthy habits without the hassle. Enjoy salads ready in just 5 minutes, protein-filled breakfasts, or nutrient-rich smoothies to fuel your day. Green Chef is ready to nurture your nutritional needs. I use this and you should too. I mentioned I'm getting married. Oh my goodness, it is the week of the wedding. Oh my goodness, I mentioned I'm getting married. It's the week of the wedding. Diego and I have been cooking up a storm, but we don't have a lot of time, so we just tried their baked lemon pepper tilapia with feta. It was the perfect nutritional meal to keep us energized. I loved the feta cheese to give it a little bit of extra oomph. It's so delicious. You'll love it as much as we did. Make this fall your healthiest yet with Green Chef. Head to greenchef.com/50tags and use code 50tags to get 50% off your first month, then 20% off for 2 months with free shipping. That's code 50tags at greenchef.com/50tags.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Fiscally responsible, financial geniuses, monetary magicians. These are things people say about drivers who switch their car insurance to Progressive and save hundreds. Because Progressive offers discounts for paying in full, owning a home, and more. Plus, you can count on their great customer service to help you when you need it, so your dollar goes a long way. Visit Progressive.com to see if you could save on car insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states or situations.
At Walgreens, we know flu season can feel a little chaotic. So we're going to give you our flu info
in a meditation, keeping you calm, just like a certified Walgreens pharmacist will do if you're a little nervous. So walk in or schedule an appointment, and Walgreens will handle the rest.
That's the human kind of help. Walgreens.
Vaccine subject to availability. State, age, and health-related restrictions may apply.
This is a real good story about Drew, a real United Airlines customer.
After almost 4 years of treatments, I was finally cancer-free. My mom's like, where do you want to go to celebrate? I'm like, let's go somewhere tropical. And then pilot hopped on the intercom and started talking about me, and I was like, what is going on here?
My wife beat cancer too, and I wanted to celebrate his special moment.
That's Bill, a real United pilot.
We brought him drinks and donuts. We all signed a card.
I was smiling ear to ear. Best flight ever for sure.
That's how good leads the way.
What is going on? You are listening and watching Tags Live, aka Talk About Gay Sex, the live edition, where we're here every Wednesday night on the Crowdcast platform. I am your host, Stevie V. Out today is Cody Maurice. He'll be back next week, but joining me again, Teddy Alexis. How you doing over there in LA?
I'm great. How are you?
Really, really good. Really, really good. I'm in Puerto Vallarta. You're in Los Angeles. And if you're watching us live right now and you're wondering who's that third person in the middle, it's Master Joshua. Hello, Master Joshua. You are one of my favorite people. You've enlightened me throughout the years on BDSM play, taken me to deeper levels. I've done photo shoots with you. You have done fire play with me. And my wedding gift, apparently, is you're going to work with my husband and I on a deeper level to find out what's next. But welcome to the show, Master Joshua.
Thank you so much, Stephen. Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to be here. I appreciate your time and your energy and your friendship. So thank you so much.
Absolutely. Well, we brought you on because you have an upcoming workshop It is about men's healing. It's a men's healing retreat. It's Thursday, November 13th through Sunday, November 16th, and it's called Reclaiming the Divine Masculine. I loved this when I heard this initially because I think this is what we need right now. Men are in trouble, I feel. And I mentioned offline, Scott Galloway is doing it kind of on a commercial mainstream level. You were doing it on a deeper level. Talk to me about this workshop and what is this masculinity that you're trying to, I guess, reclaim?
So we've known each other for almost a decade now, and my journey as I've got to witness you and you witnessed me over the last year. I started working with an organization called All Kings, and All Kings they work with men formerly incarcerated or impacted by the justice system in reshaping their relationship with masculinity. And a client of mine actually referred me to them as our work is very parallel. I've helped men work through shame and repairing their relationship with masculinity, and to really boil it down, what does it mean to be a man? Because I've gotten so many mixed messages throughout my life, and every person I've sat with says the same. Every man that I've sat with says the same. In my journey, I like to tell people I actually became a man last year when I started doing my own inner work. And that's shadow work, looking at the things I don't want people to know about me. And I found the power very parallel to what I hold in leather, kink, and BDSM spaces, is things that I don't want anyone to know about me. And the reclamation of power in the conversations I've had one-on-one, it's like there needs to be a bigger movement out in society for men, because like you said, it's not easy for men like people think it is. One of the conversations I have within this lifestyle is male privilege. And it's like, if people knew that I didn't get the playbook to life either, like I have my own scars. The difference between myself and a lot of, and folks like myself is we were never given the space to talk about it. And through my process with All Kings and getting to experience hundreds of different men in conversation, it's like I've started to see where the violence and the anger comes from. And it's from our youth, because no one gave me the space to process this. So this next weekend's retreat is for men who are looking to create a relationship with understanding self a little bit better. I'm working with 3 co-facilitators. These guys are angels on earth. They're incredible. They're doing their own work. No one's speaking from an ivory tower here. We're in the mud with everyone. And it's incredibly powerful. The reason why I wanted to come on to Tags is because of the huge impact that you have and influence you have when it comes to men and their sexuality and relationship with it. And I wanted to extend the invitation to your guests as well. It's on a sliding scale. My friend John Stasio owns Easton Mountain, and he used to do this work 2 decades ago. In conversation, he said that he's so inundated with life that what he can do is provide the space. And that's what he's done for the weekend. And it's like he's almost passing the torch to me to create these spaces for men from all walks of life to start reclaiming and repairing the relationship with masculinity. We have open spaces. It is limited spaces. And we're also looking for sponsorship, because we're not looking to make money on this. We're looking to sponsor folks. I'm in East Harlem, and I would love to get folks from the neighborhood to go up there with us, because marginalized communities have lesser chance of access to these types of spaces. And this work has changed my life, and it's helped me become more of the man I knew myself to be. I just didn't have access to it because where was the space to do it? So I'm stepping up to the plate with a few men that I know to say, who needs this space, and come join us. So I really appreciate you providing the opportunity for me to talk about this. And whoever's out there, if this is something that rings to you, or you know someone who may want benefit from this, shoot them our way, because we're in it to open up and to access vulnerability. And I simply define vulnerability as honest expression, just a space to really mean what you say. So thank you for this, Stephen.
Absolutely. I'm putting in our live chat, but I will list this where you can get this on our website. Go to tagspodcast.com. Again, it is a men's healing retreat, Thursday, November 13th to Sunday, November 16th. I've always wanted to go to Easton Mountain Retreat Center. It is in Greenwich, New York, a little upstate.
It's 45 minutes northeast of Albany. It's a neighboring to Troy.
Beautiful, beautiful area. Yeah, exactly.
If you're in the city, the invitation's open. Like I would, anytime I can share space and hold space with you, it's always an honor for me.
Thank you so much. Chetty, did you want to ask anything before we let Master Josh?
I did want to comment that as an educator, I know that we are going through a crisis, specifically for male identifying kids. So I think this work is really important. So I salute you, Master Joshua, and good luck.
Thank you so much. Just to touch on that real quick, what's really difficult is boys and men from the last 2 decades have only heard of toxic masculinity.
Right.
We were never given permission to say, listen, I didn't know. Mm-hmm. So I really appreciate that. And if there's anything, reach out to me too. I'd be more than happy to sit and talk with you about how to bring some of this type of reflection and interest.
There you are.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. And we will send people your way. How can we follow you really quickly?
Master Joshua NYC on all social media platforms. Also, kinkcollective.net. That's our educational source where we help people empower themselves through reflect. It's all the answers are in here. If it's kink, if it's identity, if it's sexuality, if it's faith, if it's beliefs, whatever, all the answers are in here. We're just trying to create space for people to talk about it.
Love it. Thank you so much. We will list everything and we will talk to you soon. I'll be in touch with you this weekend. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much and travel safely. Enjoy Mexico, man. I'm so jealous.
Thank you. Right, thank you. All right. Bye-bye. Awesome. Oh my gosh. So good. If I didn't mention already, this is episode 711. Mm-hmm. You did a recent episode with Cody, who was in Los Angeles visiting you, and he also did our last episode with that background, which is really cool. Real quickly, how much fun did you have with Cody being in Los Angeles with you?
We had a ton of fun. So the reason why Cody was here, I don't know if you mentioned it in the show, is that he's doing a music video for his upcoming track.
And who's directing it?
And he invited me to direct. So so I directed and produced it. So we filmed yesterday. So it's in the can. Now we get
saw some stills, y'all, and it is stunning. I was showing my sister. We were like, really good stuff.
And that's not processed, not colorized. It has no love. That's just the film. So imagine it's gonna look really good. So I'm really excited. And he just left this morning my apartment, and we had a ton of fun. So I'll let him do more talking about it because it's his project. But we collaborated in that, and the only reason we did that is because of this podcast, because that's how we met. And it's just the love that keeps on giving. Look at him.
He's either on the plane or somewhere and saying hi to us. Hi Cody.
Hi, Cody.
I love it.
We're talking about you.
Feel free to jump on if you're here. We've got to get into tonight's discussion because we do sex talk, not TED Talk, sex talk. Mm-hmm. And tonight,
even though today is a tech talk, because I'm talking, right?
Exactly. Oh my God, yes, TED Talk with Teddy, absolutely. And tonight we're calling it Coast to Coast LA gays, because that's where you're at, versus New York gays. I couldn't think of a more befitting topic. We're just going to be diving deep into the attitudes, the aesthetics, our sex lives, dating culture of gay men in both East Coast, West Coast, LA versus New York City, where image meets intensity. This is going to be a lot of fun because I love LA. I used to live in Los Angeles for 8 years. Of course, I've been in New York now for 17 years. I feel like there's always been this rivalry, but I do think there is something about the differences between both of our cultures within the gay community. Are you more likely to find your soulmate or your next situationship under a palm tree or a brownstone window? Well, this is this type of stuff we're going to be comparing. LA gays versus New York gays, the bodies, the vibes, the hookups, the hustle. Which coast really gets you up? It is our poll question I will pose to you. Are you more an LA gay or a New York gay? Or neither, but that is currently in our, but let us get into it. How would you describe the average gay aesthetic, Teddy, in, well, start with LA. Maybe you know a little bit about New York as well, though.
Not New York, I don't know it that much anymore, but LA, it just depends on where you are. So let's kind of expand that. So if you're in West Hollywood, then you know that the aesthetic there is going to be mostly dominated by the white twinks, right?
Yeah.
Even though there are some spaces that are more inclusive, but if you're more in like North Hollywood, which is where the Bullet and Fuego is, then that's more like Hispanic, kind of more like Cholo areas and things like that. And then there's
I haven't heard that word in a while. Cholo. I love that.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I hear that every day here.
I love it.
Right? Well, because the community here is mostly Chicano-Mexican, right?
Yes,
and
right.
New York is mostly Puerto Rican, Dominican, right? Is that still true?
It really is.
In terms of Latinos, right?
You know, there's been a lot of this has changed, and I love that you're talking about the differences of LA, and I really think that DTLA, downtown LA, has had its own, they have their own pride now. And I didn't witness that when I lived there. And there's so much more opportunity to go out now. Of course, we're keeping it really LA versus New York, but you're really breaking down that it isn't just a monolith of one gays. We're being cheeky here, but I love that you're breaking it down.
Well, because also like during Pride season, I sometimes it's like how many prides do we have? Because it's like now Hollywood has their own, Long Beach, so many, which is I think it's a good thing, right? Because it's all about creating community, and I think that at least when we were growing up, there was a lot of like kind of like you had to capitulate to what was popular, right, and try to emulate that. And I feel like now we have all these sub communities within the LGBT community that are good, right? Because then you can navigate different things. So I was finishing like the East LA kind of downtown is like most of like where the sex clubs are or used to be. So that's like a lot different, like more of like a sexy community, and it's usually more diverse too there.
Yeah, if I could piggyback off of when I lived in LA, I spent a lot of time in the West Hollywood area, obviously the Abbey, and a lot of the bars that some are not there anymore. And it was a C&B scene. I moved to LA when I wanted to be an actor, so I was all about that look. I worked out and all that. Right. But when I moved to New York, I got more, I wasn't trying to be an actor anymore. I got more into I found the BDSM culture, the Eagle. So I feel like if I lived in LA now, I would be on the East Side more versus the West Side and the pretty boy side. I've also aged more, so I'm kind of not so concerned. I'm vain, but I mean, I'm not. Yeah. I mean,
this is you not trying. Okay.
Yeah, this is me not trying. Yeah, but I definitely have noticed that. You know, but just like you were talking about, there's different prides in LA. We've got Queens Pride, there's Brooklyn Pride, there's the main pride that happens every June in the city. There are a few offshoot other ones too, and we've got all kinds of people that express themselves in different ways. So it is interesting when we say East Coast, West Coast. It's been an age-old debate back and forth, but I still think there is a little bit something there. Some people think that LA is a little bit more concerned, like I said, with the looks, and New York is a little bit more edgy, maybe confident, fashion forward. I don't know. We want to know what you think. Which coast has the hotter gays? If we can actually ask that. I think there's hot gays everywhere, to be honest. I mean, we're going to get deeper into relationships and what it's like to date. And in fact, let's just do that. But go ahead. Doug watching us. We are live, by the way. Doug watching us says, I'm more of a Pennsylvania rural gay. I love that. He's not playing with all this stuff. I love it. Let's talk about our dating culture, because as we all know, dating is hard in any big city. It's like a conundrum because you have more opportunities in a big city than a rural city, yet most people that are in these big cities say they can't find anybody. So, how do we meet people on the apps, friends, parties, events? In LA, I read this quote that said, let's hang by the pool. And in New York, I read another quote that says, drinks after work before I ghost you. It's the different.
Oh my goodness.
I know. In New York, people are a little bit more quick, and you can barely get people to make a commitment. And there's always an event to have, a theater moment to go to. I do think in LA, there's a little bit more of a relaxed atmosphere. You can go. Runyon Canyon was. I can't tell you how many dates I went on Runyon Canyon, and of course we took our shirts off, and it was this whole thing. But what is your dating scene like in LA to you?
Well, first of all, not hiking. I'm gonna tell you, I went into 2 hikes when I moved here, like over 10 years ago.
I call it hiking light, by the way. Diego's watching this, by the way, and he is like a serious hiker. He would think Runyon Canyon is hiking light.
Too light, right? Well, I think that's what happened because somebody took me on a Bourbon Trail, which is like super hilly, and I fell twice.
What?
I also was wearing Converse, so like,
oh yeah, girl,
she was asking for it. But I personally don't like hiking, so if you invite me on a date on a hike, I'll probably be like, are we even a match, right? So that's interesting that you say that. I don't know if I agree though that people are here more chill. Because I also think that it's like a curse of a big city, right? Where people are kind of like in that environment of like go all the time. So it's hard because LA is 40 million people, like, right? But it's all these cities that sometimes people are like, even here, I live in Hollywood, West Hollywood. It's literally 2.5 miles from where I live. To get a Weho gay to come here to Hollywood for just a day, that's like
getting them to come from Brooklyn to the city.
I'm just like, that's like a 10-minute drive. Like, do you know what I mean? But like, and I found when I was in New York was the same thing. It's just people were like, if you're not like 2 blocks away, and I'm like, okay, is this like only murders in the building where they're only, you know what I mean?
It is so funny that we really do look at our locations and we're not willing to, like, the love of your life could be in another borough or could be across La Cienega into Culver City, but you're so caught up and I'm so busy and not you, but you're not going to do that. But what if the love of your life is just across town, but you're too lazy and too busy to get there?
That's a good argument, right? It's like, well, 10 minutes of a drive, you give up on a lifetime of opportunities, right? So that's interesting. So to me, that's like the biggest struggle. And so then that limits a lot your pool, right? Because then you are in that situation where, oh, I'm really only dating people that are like 5 blocks away from me, right? And okay, Cody says if it's not down the street, I ain't interested. Okay, great.
Cody's in a certain place right now in his life, so he's not looking for love at the moment. His words, not mine.
Yeah.
Diego, though, chimed in. I was driving for 40 minutes to get to the city. Oh, yeah. Exactly.
And it worked out really well, right?
And it worked out really well. Absolutely.
You see? You've made your point twice, Steve.
Thank you. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yes. Okay. Let's keep this going because I really, let's talk sex and the way we
Woo!
meet people. Are there different ways? I was reading a whole article that said LA sex is, a little bit more sensual. Maybe people are a little bit more into yoga and wellness, and that really reflects the way they meet people. New York sex, it's a New York minute. It's intense, raw, passionate. I will say, at least, who's more open-minded in bed, Teddy? You've been to both cities.
Yeah.
I would say New York, but I don't know these days. I haven't been there in a minute.
Well, and also like when I go to New York, it's like for a weekend. So I don't know if I am the sample of like, a connected long sex because, it's just for the weekend. I found that if I'm intentional about the type of sex that I want to have here in Los Angeles, I have been able to be successfully with that. I don't know if my sex is all the way to tantric.
We were talking about that on last episode.
But it is, I do like to have connected, more intimate and longer sessions. I'm more into that these days than like a quick transactional pan out and in and out. But I've been able to find it here in Los Angeles. I haven't been able to find it in New York, but again, I'm also haven't lived long term in New York since like 2004. So it's been a minute. How about you?
Think the hookup culture in New York is like wham bam. Yeah, it's a little bit quick because if you really are not going to borough and you're keeping it, you can just run over to an apartment complex across town and it could be super quick, maybe not connected. In LA, I feel like even if it is somewhat locally, you might have to get on the 10, the 405. I said this the other day, get on the 110 to make it to that hookup. If you're doing all that, you would
110. Are you going all the way to Long Beach? Relax.
Pasadena. I don't know, girl. But it's always like, and it's always the 110, the 710, these things. And if you're making all that, you're using good gas. Gas is expensive these days. And you better make it last more than 5 minutes. It's not worth it to go across all these freeways.
That's like my rule. It's not, if the prep for it is longer than the actual thing, and I think you were talking about it on the last episode. Yeah. It's I'm sorry, but if the drive is 30 minutes and the actual thing is 7, not worth my time. And that's not even including if you're bottoming all the prep, if you're prepping for it. So that's why, hence, I'm more into the longer sessions, right? Because a 12-minute session across town? No, I think that's what do we think that we just find why this is happening? Because people have experienced this thing, so then they're just like, well, why would I go to the next city over when that takes me 25 minutes for 12 minutes? Maybe we just find something here, right?
Yeah. I mean, let's switch gears to like a romantic date. So
okay.
If I was in New York and let's just set the scene, it was a summer day. We've got Central Park, or if you're in Brooklyn, you've got Prospect Park. You can really get lost in those parks. A picnic, a walk, a picnic, a bottle of wine could be a really great date. And I'm talking maybe second, third date that you would go. Typically, you want to meet people for a drink. We have so many places. We tend to go, or a lot of gays that I know, well, of course, we'll meet somebody at a gay bar for a quick drink, but we'll also go to a restaurant bar. There's a million on any borough neighborhood. You can just grab a quick glass of wine and see if you're even a match. But when you want to take it to the next level, we've got some really cool daytime places to go to. If you find the person is into theater, you can catch a show together. What would be like second or third date in LA? Where would Teddy take somebody to kind of impress them?
Well, definitely somewhere that, so I wouldn't take it to a club because I need to hear you. I need to be able to like connect with you, and the club, and this is going to sound hella old, but I don't know if this is true, but are they playing the sounds louder these days?
You know what? I thought the same thing recently too,
I
that
was just like,
it's
he's so loud in
awful.
here. I'm
I'm
like,
like, "Is the
okay.
sound system bad,
Yeah.
or am I old, or
Yeah.
what's going
I
on
think
here?"
that's what it is. We get more sensitive as we
I
age,
think you're right, and
but
we're more aware that let's not talk about it too much, but I'm like, "Is my hearing gonna go bad? I wanna hear these future," I'm with
yeah.
somebody now, but I wanna hear my
So
husband.
I do like a theater moment. It depends on what it is because that's what I do for work. So I do go to theater a lot, just to see friends or like things that I'm following. So there are sometimes opportunities where like there's a gala with it. So then
Oh.
and I get invited to a lot of those. So those are fun because then we can get a couple drinks for free, like a little bit of, and so we can like, because when I'm trying to find a partner, it's all about experience life together, right? And somebody
Yeah.
put it in the way of like, even though it's not about witnessing each other's life, it's about like experiencing life together, right? So I want to know how you are, just like sitting with me and like just going to a thing, and because to me it's always about not about the thing, but about the experience that we're having together. So it's very telling when somebody, because I could take you to a play that's hella boring, right? And if the person is just like kind of like mad about that, then I kind of know that, oh, the what we're doing is not about us experiencing something together, but it's about the thing. You
See,
understand
and
what I'm
that's the thing
saying?
about LA,
Hmm.
because you have so many high profile events happening on any given
Right.
Tuesday. I remember I dated a major agent for
Oh,
like at CAA, and
what?
it took 3 phone calls with 3 different assistants to figure out where I was supposed to be in my Honda Civic to meet him. And it would be like, "Hi, this is Scott calling for da 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 da, and
Mhm.
confirming that you will
I
meet da da da
cannot kind of
da."
reverse engineering who it is actually, but okay.
You could maybe do the math, but and I would show up, and sometimes he would pick me up, sometimes I would just have to meet him there, but it was 3 assistants later that I would get that, and it was great. They were fun. It would be meet at the Chateau Marmont, and it was the after party for some like big Hollywood event, and of
Yeah,
course, I'm a young gay at the time and was like, my eyes were just like amazed, and
impressionable.
I couldn't believe I was going to all these events. But was it connected dating? I mean, years later I
Hmm.
saw him and I thought maybe we could have had something, but at the time I was so enamored, and I just
Yeah.
got too caught up in these events that were high profile that it was hard to see beyond anything that could be everlasting, because it
Mm,
was just so much sparkle and glass. And that is sometimes what I think of LA. So I think, when I talk about Central Park or Prospect Park,
mhm.
and you're talking about theater, you can't talk to somebody in a theater. You could watch a
Yeah.
theater if you found out that you like the same shows, but I would recommend then hopefully going to somewhere and discuss the show together, because you're really
Mhm.
trying to get to know this person, not be caught up on a red carpet, not be silent through a whole time,
Mhm.
and maybe not get hiking and running canyon and falling. I mean, you want to really like connect with the person.
Yeah, that's why I said like a gala or something, right? So we'll have the intermission. We can talk. Like I didn't mention movies because movies I think is like a horrible date. Like
Much less if you even like the same movie,
yeah, I mean we can go see a movie because we want to see it, but it's not gonna be a date because
What
like
about
it's just
Netflix? Hey, it's second or third
yeah,
date. Let's order a pizza. I'm gonna cook up something. I'll have some wine. Let's
great.
pick out something that we both like on Netflix. What do you think of that? As a
I
second
love
or
that.
third, yeah?
I love that, and especially because I love cooking. So a good like if I cook for you, that's like me really expressing like I don't know if it's love that early, but it is like you're good because I'm cooking for you, right? So I do like that, and it's also an opportunity to be domestic with somebody, right? Which is
Yeah.
what ninety
Oh, like what
percent
would this
of
be
right,
like?
because it's
Yeah.
90% of what you're going to do anyways, right? Because when you're dating somebody, there is a point where you're gonna spend a lot of time in the house.
Yes,
right?
right. Well, absolutely. The other thing is you control the media. It's not controlling you. So when the movie starts in the theater, it's like, shut up. You can't talk. You can
Yeah.
pause. Now, I've been watching
Yeah, it's
movies
not
and
the
TV
90s
shows.
anymore, right? That we were at
No. But if it's
appointment
like my
TV.
sister, we're pausing it every 2 seconds and going, oh, what about this? Did you think of this? And so we pause it way too much and having too many
Mhm.
discussions. But you can do that and get to know this person.
Right, because if that person is not into that, can you imagine? If they're like, just let it run, you're like, wow, well, I like pausing the movie. Like, you know what I
And what
mean?
if it's like a rom-com that you are into, or a gay rom-com? You could then be into it and then make out with them for a minute and then get back into it.
Oh,
So
like
it
you're
could,
trying to like, mhm.
I like this.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's a lot of options, but I think that you just have to set yourself up in whatever your strengths are. Like, if you don't cook, then don't invite somebody and try to cook because you're just setting yourself up failure. But if you do, there's always Domino's, $7.
Not
You
doing
know?
Domino's, but yeah, we have too much good New York pizza. But let's do, to wrap this up, we want to hear what you think, but let's do a rapid fire here on just shoot whatever comes out first. Shoot your load. Best city for hookups. Go. LA or New York?
LA.
I'm in New York. Best, of course, best city for finding love. Well, I have to say New York because I found my husband there, and I found him at the New York Eagle. Best city for finding love? Both? Okay. Best parties?
New York.
I would say if we're talking about house parties, LA, because you guys have got more space and you've got the sun, and people love to do a good barbecue out there by the pool. We don't have all that shit. So I'm going to give it to LA.
Sure.
Okay. This is I wish Cody was voting on this one. If you're listening, vote on the best drag scene.
Ooh. I think New York, actually.
I'm going to go with New York, too, just because I think more of them made it onto Drag Race, but that's just me being...
Just because of the shows I've seen in New York.
Yeah. This is an interesting one. Sexiest accent. I mean, I don't know that we have accents in either one of them, but do we? California versus New York?
As long as we're not talking about California, like white people, like everybody has like different accents, right?
Exactly. People have accused me, like, "Are you sure you're from New York? You sound so California."
You don't sound Italian or something, right?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Okay.
Yes, I think those are okay. We want to hear from you. Where do you vote on this? Cody, can you read some comments?
Cody says that drag scene is definitely New York better. And a little tidbit, he says, I had a lot of hookup opportunities in LA, so they're coming for the crown for hookups.
Oh gosh. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, my door was like opening at midnight. I'm like, what's happening?
Don't be giving away his tea.
Child.
I love it. Okay. Well, we've got to move on and we got to get into hot topics. When a new study, actually, before we get into that, take our poll question and we will have it if you're listening to the show.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever think about switching insurance companies to see if you could save some cash? Progressive makes it easy. Just drop in some details about yourself and see if you're eligible to save money when you bundle your home and auto policies. The process only takes minutes, and it could mean hundreds more in your pocket. Visit Progressive.com after this episode to see if you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
At Walgreens, we know flu season can feel a little chaotic. So we're going to give you our flu info
in a meditation, keeping you calm, just like a certified Walgreens pharmacist will do if you're a little nervous. So walk in or schedule an appointment, and Walgreens will handle the rest.
That's the human kind of help. Walgreens.
Vaccine subject to availability. State, age, and health-related restrictions may apply.
Support for this podcast is brought to you by Walden University. Ever catch yourself thinking, what if I could go after what I actually want and really make a difference? You're not alone, and that's exactly why I want to tell you about Walden University. For over 50 years, Walden has helped working adults like you get the W, with the knowledge and skills to build the future you want and make a difference where it matters most. If you've been waiting for the right moment, this is it. Head to waldenu.edu and take that first step. Walden University. Set a course for change. Certified to operate by Chev.
Go to patreon.com/tags podcast. The first question we're asking, are you more of an LA gay or a New York gay? Right now, we've got 33% LA baby, New York 0, and the rest of us is neither. So vote on this episode, but it will be on our Tags Patreon community. Let's keep this conversation going throughout the week, and we'll discuss next week. Okay, a new study finds that gay men and straight men view cheating very differently. What am I talking about? Well, is it gay to get jealous when your partner has an emotional affair? According to new research, the answer is kind of yes. And a recent study found that straight men get primarily jealous of sexual infidelity, while gay and bisexual men were more jealous of emotional infidelity in a relationship. There was a marked difference between LGBTQ plus and straight guys. The same exception didn't exist between queer and straight women, but both groups were more likely to be jealous of their partner developing feelings for someone else. Does that surprise you, Teddy?
No, it didn't surprise me because I feel like the cultural differences between the genders, specifically cis people, it's great, right? And we literally started the top of the show of like, you know, the emergency that we have with masculinity, right? And we talked about that in the last live too, in different aspects, but it's still the same kind of conversation. And then when we put two males together, we're like, regardless of their cisness, they're culturally they're similar, right? Male.
Yeah.
So I think that's where we see that, even though we saw that like also there's a female statistic that is like really bad. Like it's like
so what Teddy's talking about, are you talking about the marriage?
Divorce rates.
Yes. Okay. In there was people commenting, and what you're saying is, I mean, some of the biology of it, there was a whole study that showed that why would straight men be more about infidelity, and that would cause them more jealousy. And the study showed that because of procreation,
right,
because it has to do with sex, that it's innate in them, and that we don't have that typically as gay men to worry about that. We've always had sexual freedom, and for most of us, a lot of us are more open to open relationships. So we're not going to necessarily get bent out of a shape. We're speaking generally, but for the most part, of just a sexual infidelity moment, as opposed to if your man and you're gay is emotionally connected to somebody else. I was talking to my sister. She feels the same way too. Women are going to get more bent out of shape because for many reasons, women know that it's all about emotional intelligence, and straight men should really worry if a woman finds a straight man and they're connected emotionally, because that's the next step that she's going to leave him. So, and we kind of fall suit to that too, because I don't think we think of sex differently. And that whole biological study that they brought up was really interesting about straight men. That's innately produced in them. But you were just talking about a meme that somebody put up, Matt Clarkson Lawson, based on this, and they put up divorce rates stats between men and women. Divorce rates between men and women is at 42%, almost 50%, Teddy.
Yeah.
Divorce rates between women and women, lesbians typically, 72%, the highest. I mean, would you even want to get married if you were a lesbian at this point? That's really not good. I just got married, and I like the next stat here because
you have good stats.
I have good stats here. Divorce rates between men and men is at 28%, the lowest out of all three groups that this particular meme pointed out. And I'm just saying I'm happy on that one.
Yeah. But can I clarify something though that you said? Because the study is, I know it was applied to straight men, but I think also applies to gay men because there's a biological need of us spreading our DNA as the person that carries the sperm, right? So I think that's also true for gay men, even though they physically are not doing that. But so that's why whenever if there's a cheating situation and it's merely sexual, men do understand that and it kind of like don't, which is what the article is saying, that it's like it's chill if you do that, but if you have an emotional connection with another man, that's a problem.
Yes.
And I think that is that understanding of that biological, I call it a culture, but it's biological, that causes then men dating men to be that successful, according to the study. So that's interesting, and something to like think about when dating, for sure.
Absolutely. And we are live again. Doug says, my best friend's girlfriend told him that she considered him watching porn was cheating. Oh, wow. See, okay.
Oh.
That's that. What does Adrian say while I pull up our next topic?
Absolutely. So Adrian says, cheating is cheating. My ex was bi and he cheated on me with a woman and that hurt. And even guys on the apps who say they're married and they don't want to hook up with a guy is low and foul. And I blocked a guy that claimed to be married because I don't want that energy.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's a good thing to for Adrian and people that think like that to tell their partners, right? To specifically say that this is the framework that they want to get into the relationship. For sure.
Absolutely. Okay, moving on to a hot topic that, I was so surprised because I used to work out in Gold's Gym on Cole Street, and there's a new, I understand, West Hollywood Gold's Gym at the former Beverly Center where Macy's was at. Did you know that, Teddy?
I didn't, because I don't go to Gold's anymore. But
got it. Yeah.
Sure.
Well, the gym chain at the center of singer Tish Hyman she has went off on a whole rampage just the other day because she said that she was in the locker room. Tish Hyman is a singer, LA singer, and she's African American and she's a lesbian. These are her identifiers. And
a cis woman.
And she said that she was in the gym at Gold's Gym and there was men in there and she was naked, putting lotion on because she said she's lost a lot of weight, and she went on a rampage in the lobby that there's men in the locker room and nobody's doing anything, but she caused a whole huge tirade in the lobby that was disturbing. If you watch it, it's all over social media. She claims that there were men, her words, men in the locker room, and she was naked, putting lotion on her body. And that these people, though, because I saw an interview, said that they identify as trans women. Now, the question is, first of all, if I was to give my opinion on this, I think she was so out of, first of all, who is like naked? You get to do whatever you want, I guess, not whatever you want, but it is a locker room. But I felt like she went on a tirade to everybody else in the gym. And it's West Hollywood, for starters. She is in the LGBTQ arena, and they were trans women in there. Now, I heard the other interview on the other side of it, and I don't think they were staring at Tish. I think she made a bigger deal out of it than it needed to be. Some people were saying that, well, Gold's Gym, all this money, it just recently got bought. It's in a huge high-profile center. Should they have created a trans restroom that's separate? And these conversations have been happening. But then one of the persons that was being interviewed that was, had to hear Tish shout at them, said that, well, then you'd have to have two restrooms because you have to have a trans male restroom and a trans female. Now we have 4 restrooms. What did you think of when you heard the story about all of this going on?
Well, it's a big conversation. I think as somebody that I have planned events that are LGBT events, and the bathroom is always an issue. And I'm going to tell you that regardless of what you do with the bathroom, it's going to bring an issue because there's always always the most vociferous people, in my experience, I'm not generalizing, is cis women. They're very precious about having their own space and not sharing. So the last event that I was helping put together, we had like every floor had bathrooms, and they were all gendered bathrooms, and we were going to have a spectrum of people, including trans and non-binary people. And that was one of the first things that the trans people that were participating were kind of concerned about: bathroom access, even within a LGBT event. Just to put it a little context, I want to have a bigger conversation that what happened at Goals. So what we decided to do is that we were going to make the first level was going to be gender neutral bathrooms. So all of the bathrooms have all access, and they agree with that. And all the floors in the second and third floor were gendered. So if you wanted to have a bathroom that was specific to you, with your gender marker, you will go upstairs, and if you were okay with sharing bathrooms with all the genders, you will go downstairs, right? There was 3 people, all women, that were really mad about this, and I'm like, well, just go to the second floor. And they were like, no, but we want access to the bathroom here. So it's always a thing. So I'm having this conversation to say that even if Gold's Gym would have a bathroom that is gender neutral, there will be issues because people kind of want to have kind of like their own space and not really know that this is a community thing, right? It's a gym. Everybody needs to have access to these bathrooms. So I think that we have to be less lazy about how we do the bathrooms and have a diversity of access to these things. In California, there's the new law of single stall. I don't know if you know about this, but if a bathroom is single stall, meaning that it's a bathroom regardless of the gender that it is, and you can close the door and it's just yours. So basically, like one of those bathrooms is just a toilet and like wash hands and things. That bathroom has to be gender neutral.
Yeah.
And that helps a lot, right? Because then we just take out the marker of it. And I think those are things that we should think about and being expensive, because the logistics of it is going to be, because her argument was that that person was claiming to be trans and not a trans person. And that gets into a messy kind of situation, because who gets to police who your gender is? So I think we just need to be more expansive about that. I hope I gave the answer.
You really did. And you brought up some really good points too, because taking it beyond the golds, because that's a very specific thing, the gym, and it almost goes into the conversation that a lot of people still can't decide where they fall on. And I'm talking about athletes, trans athletes. And that's the one area, even though this is a teeny tiny percentile, but it's the one area that when you mentioned all gender and the events that you did, I couldn't help but think on a recent Vakaya. I just got off working with them, and whether it's a cruise ship or in this case, we took over the Hard Rock in Nayarit here in Mexico. And whenever Vakaya does, we are all inclusive. It's LGBTQ plus, and all of the bathrooms, we create placard signs, and on the women's and the men's, they put all gendered, accessible to all. And it's always a really beautiful thing. I love when I go on these cruises or when we take over a property, because when I see that, I immediately feel like Vakaya really is inclusive. And everybody on these, now they are just bathrooms, and if you go in the women's, there's doors in the typically quote unquote men's original bathrooms, but it's really a beautiful thing that we all do actually in that week come together. Now, if you really wanted to, of course, if you're on a cruise or on this property, you can go to your own cabin room and have your own privacy, but it always seems to work. What this golds thing reminds me a little bit of more like I was talking about the conversation of that, should trans people participate in sports and that whole debate. And it's that, and I love what you had to say too, that it's an ongoing conversation, but logistically, it does bring up a whole lot of things too. And who's going to police these things? So we have some comments here. Vivian says, as a cisgender woman, I say, get over yourself. I am all for gender neutral. I hear that. seems to be a lot of the sentiment, especially since she was so Vivian's cisgender. Tish is lesbian, and it's like, wow, talk about dropping that. And there's a whole movement even within our own acronym community, Teddy, that wants to drop the T. Yeah, I don't get it, but there is that.
It tracks historically, though.
Yes,
because we have movements where trans and non-binary people have been left out, even right after Stonewall, which is crazy. And I always like to teach that because these things don't live in a vacuum and don't come out of nowhere, right? Something that I saw that I really liked is the YouTube studios here in Los Angeles. They were built, I want to say, like 10 years ago. What they did with their bathrooms, they have this massive bathroom that it's everybody. They just have stalls. And so when you come in, like the wash areas where you wash your hands and things, is open. So they have a bunch of stalls, and everybody's there because you will get your own stall to go to and that's true for every bathroom. There's no bathroom where you share the stall.
Thank you. Yeah, right. And unless you want to at the Eagle, but
that's a different situation. Yeah. But I'm just like, like when you need to actually go to a toilet, it's always closed down. So with the exception of the urinals, but
You know what also comes to mind too is gym culture. What we're also talking about is gym culture, and we all know, move it out of the restrooms, the bathrooms. We all know people that gym culture has always had different. The youngins, the old ones, people singing out loud, wearing certain things, others not wiping things down. I mean, this kind of falls into that. I'm personally, the times I don't use the locker rooms to shower and all that, I have in the past, but I am like 90 miles an hour. I'm doing a fraction of my beauty regime. You know how it is in the locker rooms where there's one above you, there's one below. It's like back in school where do not take too long because a senior's going to come and kick you out of the space. Who's lotioning up their body and putting on
I've seen people straight up like shaving their heads and leaving all the clippings.
I'm like, hell no.
Bro, do that at home.
Do that at home.
Yeah.
No.
Anyways.
Yeah. I mean, people have some funny comments. Yeah, we got to move on. Any funny more comments you want to read before I move on to our
funny
or comments?
So Cody says, I must say on Trish's side that she spoke on the trauma of SA. What's that? And someone presents as masculine can certainly be true. Sexual assault.
Yeah, sexual
assault. And then Adrian says, it's a bathroom, take a dump, break the seal, wash your hands, and stop.
Yeah, people wash their hands. I'm more concerned about that than any of these other things I know. Oh my gosh, let us know how you weigh in. In fact, it is a poll question, and the polls continue all week long over on our Tags Patreon community. This one is, I think it's live. Is it live, Cody?
I see it.
Teddy. Yes. Based on Gold's Gym story, should Gold's Gym create a trans separate bathroom, or trans people should be able to use the bathroom they identify with? Your answers are Gold should create a trans restroom, or trans people should be able to use whatever restroom they identify as. We'll continue this all week long on our Tags Patreon community. And lastly, in Hot Topics, before we give some advice, and of course, our thirst trap. Shout out, congratulations to Jonathan Bailey, who's making history as People's Sexiest Man Alive. This was really cool because we all know Sexiest Man Alive has been around since I was a kid. I think Mark Harmon back in the day was one of the earliest ones. Everybody has been, I haven't always agreed with them. Past winners, of course, include Matt Damon, Bradley Cooper, George Clooney, John Legend, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, just to name a few. But Jonathan Bailey is the first out gay celebrity to make it. And might I say, he does it well. And are you surprised that it took this long for People magazine to come around and name a gay celebrity as the sexiest man alive, or is this an outdated trend? How do you weigh in on this?
I'm not surprised because gay men for the longest time they're not considered sexy or even doable.
Yeah.
And so I just feel like, it's a little bit late, but it's Jonathan Bailey is cool. And he is very good looking. He's not my sexiest man alive, but
He's not mine either, but I'm
Mhm.
excited to see Wicked Part 2 with Diego. We
Yes.
saw the first part. Travelers. What's the miniseries?
Yeah, Travelers. Mhm.
Something, with Matt Bomer. Loved it so much.
You see, I find Matt Bomer way sexier.
You do? Oh, yeah. Yeah. But I'm surprised. Yeah.
He wasn't in.
That's interesting. Yeah. Okay.
But the thing is, like, Jonathan Bailey's also super hot right now in terms of his
Yeah.
bookings, right?
Right. Wicked and all that.
Jurassic Park is just like he's on fire right now. So it's just it's also kind of like a popularity contest. So we really haven't seen a gay man take this many lead roles in a row. So I think that plays him in like a unique situation, and good for him. I celebrate it. Yum yum. Let's see more.
We're running out of time, and I want to get to Thirst Trap. But did you want to do advice, or did you want to talk about Boots and All's Fair? I'd love for you to give your reviews on both of those.
Oh, sure. Let's talk about the movies.
We can always give advice. So.
Of course.
I'm putting Thirst Trap, though, for you guys to vote.
It's put it too.
Yeah. So start looking at that. But, okay, 2 of the hot shows right now. Come on, Netflix, Boots. I'll just give you a little synopsis because I wanted. Boots is based on a book called The Pink Marine, One Boy's Journey Through Boot Camp, set in the 90s. It's a coming age memoir about Cope White's time in the military. It details his journey, but it's a show right now. I watched one episode with Diego, but as soon as I get back, we're binging it. What's your review on that?
I loved it. I think the writing is really good. I haven't watched it all the way through, but I can tell that the writing is really solid, and it's really well done. The photography is beautiful, and the narrative really moves, even though it's an hour long drama comedy. I liked it. I'm enjoying it so far. Recommend.
Love it. Okay, the other show that everyone's talking about, Ryan Murphy's All's Fair. Glenn Close, Kim Kardashian. Oh, who's the other one that I love? Her Niecy Nash. Another one that I really love. That's in all of
Naomi Watts.
Another one though that I really love though. I mean, oh my gosh, Vivian. Who's the one that I love? Anyways, All's Fair. Anyways, it got a 0 today, like the worst reviews you could ever get. What did you think?
So Cody and I watched it last night.
Yes.
Tiana Taylor.
Sarah Paulson.
Sarah Paulson is in it too. Yeah, it's a lot of really good people for this show to be this bad. So Cody and I were watching it last night, and it's
campy.
It's campy, but it's not good campy. I think it has bad writing, and the problem with it, one of the many, it's that Kim Kardashian is kind of like the main character, and she cannot act, right? So
I've seen her a couple times, and I liked her, but I don't know that she's Miss Actress, so I would just have to default to what you're saying.
Yeah, I think that she needs a little bit of more training. Carrying a show where it's not about the little tricks.
Like, why did he put her in the lead like that? That's silly.
I think the idea of it was good. I just think that execution wise, I think a lot of people see acting as just saying words, and as somebody that literally teaches that as a trade, it's that it goes way beyond, and like doesn't matter that Naomi Watts is in there and all these wonderful women are there.
Close, my goodness.
It doesn't help to hit. So far what I've seen, it's shot beautifully. The costumes are amazing, but bad writing and bad acting. So if you have something else to watch, swipe left.
You know what's so funny about it? I think all this press is going to make so many people like myself watch it so that we can develop our own opinion on it. Yeah. But I'm kind of so intrigued. Now I really want to know, what do I think? So yeah. Okay. Love it. Lastly, Thirst Trap. We love it. It's straight up gay porns. who took the hottest, not suitable for work photo of the week. It's our job to tell you on an audio podcast, because that's what we are, out of these 11 gay porn stars, who took the best photo. Who do you pick and why, Teddy?
I picked Andy Rodriguez because he's always a hottie. He's kind of my cousin. That's not my cousin, right? And
mine.
And yours,
he has an S, sorry, but yes.
We can cheat that out. We're men, right?
Thank you.
He has like a hot bandana and like his curls are like tied up and the most massive penis that I ever seen in life.
It's thick and
yes, please. And veiny.
Well, Diego voted, and I like it too. I'm going to go with what he picked, but I like it too. Just Petito. And it's an expression with his tongue out. Diego's done that expression too. He has a really beautiful, that hairy chest that's just lies perfectly. He's sitting. I do like that there's a bookshelf behind him with several books. Maybe they're fake. I don't know. But, maybe he's reading in between this session here. And it's a really beautiful, interesting dick. The balls are there. The hole's available.
Great lighting too.
Great lighting. Yeah, he looks fun, sexy. I'm voting for him. Go ahead and vote on those because then you can actually tell how your person is doing. I'm voting for Just Petito right now. And he's in number 1. Oh, I picked well. Diego, you picked well. Oh my gosh, so much fun. Cody says Jack's Cody for him. Doug says Ben V for him. Keep the voting going. Don't forget to visit our Tags Patreon community. Go to patreon.com/Tags podcast. Follow my co-host. Thank you, Teddy, at Teddy Alexis on Blue Sky, at Teddy Alexis on Instagram. Follow me on the gram. I am _Steve V. And in the meantime, continue having hot gay sex. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Cody.
Hi, friends. We are Dads and Daddies, a podcast about the lives and times of adult gay men in the here and now. I'm Brian Ruben Sowers, a married dad of 2.
And I am Judson Morrow, a resident daddy. Join us for frank conversations and personal stories of sex, love, relationships, parenthood, daddyhood, addiction, and so much more.
Find us on Instagram at Dads and Daddies Pod and listen to new episodes every Tuesday on all major platforms.